I'm at my grandparents' home in Taipei. I just competed in the TAAI computer gaming tournament in Qingzhou, and I won a gold medal in Othello. I call it Reversi, but this is actually one of the first games I ever wrote. Today's the 5th anniversary of when I started my computer games. Started on December 8th, 2011. And I thought I'd use this opportunity. This is my first real big anniversary to talk about a little bit of history. I worked on a problem called, a field called computational social choice theory for my PhD. And one of the chapters, one of the topics involved was using branch and bound kind of algorithms, search algorithms to approximate election systems that are hard to solve. And there's a lot of recursive search algorithms, and it reminded me of a course project that I had done for an undergraduate course many years ago, where I had written I think it was a multi-dimensional tic-tac-toe program. It made me dug out that program to see if I could use any of the concepts I came up with during my PhD work, and but I kind of left it as an aside. I was really busy working on my PhD at the time. It was a curious aside, and really never touched it until later that year as I was wrapping up writing up my thesis. On November 25th, 2011, my grandpa passed away. Actually, we can look at a picture of him. Right there. It was November 25th, 2011. Actually, my camera thinks that's a real person right there. But it did a few things for me. First, it made me realize that I'll never know when I'm gonna die. If there's something I want to do, right now is the only guarantee that I have for when I can do it. But also, at the time, I was kind of in a little bit of a flux, in a state of flux at the time. I had broken up in an abusive relationship. I had a girl who was taking advantage of me, and I broke up with her about a year and a half before my grandpa passed away. And I see when I was dating her, I got very sick. I almost got kicked out of school. Now I was doing very well in school. I was healthy again. I was doing well financially again, but I never met another girl. Obviously, not another girl like her, but a better girl. And even though I was in good health, I was doing well in school, I was doing well financially. I wasn't doing so well in a speakable way. You don't go to a bar and tell somebody you have $1 million in the bank, or tell somebody that you have a 4.0 GPA. You don't go to a bar and do that. You go to a bar to tell people funny things you have done, or things that extreme sports maybe. And it made me sit down to think to myself, what can I do to give myself some status with friends of mine, with coworkers of mine when we talk after work. I started thinking about the computer games, but I was unsure. It had been years since I'd done that undergraduate project, and I only had ideas. I never really sat down and tried anything, and so I was unsure. And I went to bed, and it's funny, the day my grandpa passed away, nobody told me that he had passed away yet. He passed away during the day in Taipei, which is during the nighttime in Rochester, where I was living at the time, but nobody had told me. I heard his voice telling me to go ahead and write that game, and I got out my computer and I wrote like 5 lines, and I went back to bed thinking, I'll give it a shot. And the next day, my mother called me actually, and we were talking about my grandpa, and she said that my grandpa had said some things about me, and he was doing well, and I was wondering why we're talking about grandpa, and she told me that he had passed away last night, and I just sat there in shock. He didn't look sick. I had visited him only 3 months before that. I had a conference here in Taiwan, not game related. It was a uh, artificial intelligence conference, and I had just seen him not long before that. And it made me realize that, like I said, if I need to do something, it better be right now, or I can't guarantee if I'll get to it. And actually, today my computer games kind of worry me, because if I die today, I'm flying back to the US tomorrow. If the plane crashes, well, the computer's going to be lost with the plane crash. So that's the first problem. I backed up a lot of stuff online. So, and then who's going to look into the stuff that I backed up to continue working on the project? It sometimes when I have to try to dissociate from thinking about that, because if I think about it too much, sometimes it can worry me sick. It can make me dizzy almost. Yeah, and so I started writing computer games that day, December 8th, and I started with Othello. And actually, my first game was really embarrassing, but it was able to beat, you see, Microsoft had an Othello program for their Windows 1.0, and my program beat that easily, even though it was only searching 20,000 nodes a second. And I learned some concepts. I think the first major one I learned was how to do bit boards, and the first time I did it was like, oh, this is magic. And it's pretty second nature to me now. I was using an alpha beta pruning search. I learned about various heuristics for how to reorder your moves. I hope this isn't making my viewers fall asleep, but that's what I did. The first chess-like program I ever wrote was a few months after that. I had done a mini shogi and micro shogi, which is 5x5, 4x5. And animal shogi, which is 3x4. Even though it's already solved, I wrote it just to check if what I'm doing is decent. And then I went to my first computer gaming contest in the summer of 2013. It was in Yokohama, Japan. And I went to the Fuji theme park after that, and learned about Monte Carlo tree search that time. And unfortunately, the conference was canceled the year after that. But I went back in 2015, and that time I picked up some lessons on machine learning, and I've been doing I've been experimenting with machine learning for various games. I competed in Go this year against actually I think one of the teams in DeepMind, and I didn't lose too badly, so I'm pleased about that. I didn't win, but I didn't lose too badly. I remember last year when I said I was going to attempt to do that, people told me, "Oh, you're going to lose like, what is it? 19 by 19 is 360. You're going to lose 361 to nothing," and at least I didn't lose that badly. So, here we are in 2016. Let me think about all the games I've competed in so far. I don't compete in every game every year, but I've done my first tournament. I did Lines of Action, Surikarta, Checkers, Clobber, Mini Shogi, and 9x9 Shogi, and Chu Shogi. I wasn't sure how I was doing in any of those games, so I kind of competed in all of them just to see where I stand. In 2014, 2014 I competed in TAAI. I didn't attend because I got sick, actually, but I competed in 3 games just over the internet. I did No Go. I did Connect 6, and I did Mini Shogi again. And it was around that time I decided to drop Mini Shogi from my project. It kind of didn't fit with the algorithms I was using. And then in 2015, I did Clobber again. I did checkers. I did didn't do mini shogi. I did Surakarta and Lines of Action and Einstein. This is my first non-deterministic game. I've kind of dropped Einstein from my project, not because it didn't fit with any algorithm, but because of the non-determinism. I felt that I was spending a lot of time writing that game in order to go gamble, and I just decided that I want to do something deterministic where I could actually compete and not gamble, or at least half gamble. So, which is a shame. I want to do backgammon, but I think I'll be disappointed in that way again. So, it's kind of that's kind of a backup plan at the moment. I have other games going on right now. I'm kind of interested in Go and potentially Chinese chess. I have some ideas on how that could go. And I recently came up with some stuff for Othello. Won't be talking about it here because I'm still developing it. Anyways, yeah, 5 years. And you know, actually, when I first started the project, my vision was that it would give me a platform on which to make some connections and to eventually meet my future wife. I'm sorry, I'm in my grandma's home. But I think that I need to meet my future wife elsewhere. I think trying to combine the two has left to a lot of heartbreak. You know, there's not that many girls involved in computer games, and it's a distraction when I go to the conference and I'm not focusing on the conference. But it was a good start to get some to get some experience of events. You know, going to conferences. I used to be really shy, so I don't think it's been a total loss in that regard. Thanks for watching.